In our last video, we talked about JT Daniels and what his 2021 season is going to look like. How is he going to perform? This, that, and the other. For Georgia, really, though, it's tough for a quarterback to play well if their offensive line isn't set. And at Georgia, the problem right now is we're not quite certain who's going to play left tackle. So let's go through this right now. My name's Dean Legge. Thanks for watching. I've covered Georgia for over 20 years now. And this 2021 season is coming in with a lot of expectations, perhaps some hoopla, and Georgia is knocking on the door and have a huge game to start the year with Clemson in Charlotte. But who's going to play left tackle and who's going to be the other five guys on the offensive line? When you look at Clemson and really a lot of other really good teams, whether you're talking about Ohio State, Alabama, they're going to have good defenses, or at least defenses that are not going to get 60 points scored on them. So this Clemson defense, the front is legit, no question. Miles Murphy, guys like that, they've got players. Georgia's issue right now is they've got a lot of guys, but we're not quite sure who's going to play left tackle. So stick with me as I go through this. It's not very confusing, but it is important because left tackle was a spot that you had pretty well determined for a long time with Isaiah Wynn. This is during Kirby's heyday from 2017 on. You had Isaiah Wynn, and then you moved right into Andrew Thomas. One side of the line in 2017, Isaiah Wynn. The other side, I said Isaiah Thomas. I meant Andrew Thomas. But you had your tackles, and eventually you had Isaiah Wilson and Andrew. So you thought you'd have Cade Mays be around, but he bolted for Tennessee. That's a whole nother story. So right now, you've got everybody on the offensive line returning except left tackle. Justin Schaefer at guard. Warren Erickson at center. You've got Warren McClendon at right tackle, who they don't want to move to left tackle because they've got all four spots with Jamari playing on the inside. Those four spots are taken care of. You're looking for one guy to step up. That's the question. Is it going to be Xavier Truss? Is it going to be Broderick Jones? Is it going to be Amarius Mims? We asked Kirby Smart, or when Kirby Smart was asked about this at media days, his answer was, I don't know if it was revealing or not, but he said, you want to be better at the end of the season than what you started with. Does that mean that Amarius Mims is going to be your left tackle at some point this season? I don't know. When you talk to Buck Blue, he said that he felt it might be that way. When you start talking about Xavier Truss, and he's been with the ones now for coming on close to 10 months. Is that what it's going to be like in camp here as Georgia gets ready for the 2021 season? It's hard to know. And if you don't have a left tackle, you can get around that by using, different formations and keeping guys. Like back in the day, Ben Watson, when he was playing for Georgia, he'd stick around and they'd have max protection. That's not the type of football Georgia wants to play in 2021. That was okay in 2003, but in 2021, you're going to want to exploit every single player you've got. So that's a major question for Georgia coming into 2021. If you've got all four guys on the line leading up to your left tackle, and you don't quite know who your left tackle is, that's a major concern. In the past, Georgia didn't necessarily have as many options. And when I say past, I mean the Mark Richt era. This was really a problem for the Mark Richt era, was having elite talent all through the line. That's not really a problem for Georgia now. The question is, how will they fill that one spot? Playing Jamari Saylor at left tackle is not something that insiders say that Georgia should be doing. So they want him on the interior where he can really make a big difference. Does that mean that it's Xavier Truss's job? I think it's Xavier Truss's job to lose. But he's going to have to hold off guys like Broderick Jones and Amarius Mims. Amarius Mims is eventually going to be a tackle at Georgia. The question is when and how quick. And do you want to hold the tight ends and so forth in? Hey, look, let's talk about this more because the next video I'm going to focus on Georgia's transfer players, one of which is a former tight end at LSU, Eric Gilbert.